Welcome to Alpha Traveler. My name is Mazen Alangari and today I'll be taking you to Baku in Azerbaijan. Baku, or as locals call it, Baki, is the capital city of Azerbaijan. Today, we will explore this magical place together and get to see some of the nearby attractions while we're there. So let's start by visiting downtown Baku in a very interesting and beautiful pedestrian and shopping street called Nizami Street. The street's history could be traced back to Baku's town planning project in 1864. The street runs through the city's downtown area from west to east and stretches for a little over 3.5 kilometers or 2 miles. Nizami Street is home to various outlets from banks to fashion stores to restaurants and cafes. The architecture of the street reflects various styles and directions, which is caused by intensive construction and building that took place in 3 main periods: late 19th century and early 20th century, the 1950s and 70s, and the modern period. One of the oldest buildings is the St. Gregory the Illuminator's Church, which was built in 1869. Overall, Nizami Street is a beautiful street to explore and walk around. We will get back to it at night because if you think Baku looks beautiful during the daytime, which it is, wait until you see it at night. Once we turn the corner of Nizami Museum of Azerbaijan Literature, we can see the great walls of the historical inner city of Baku, or as it's called, Ичери Шехер. In December 2000, the old city of Baku, including the palace of the Shirvanshahs and the Maiden Tower, became the first location in Azerbaijan to be classified as a World Heritage Site by the UNESCO. Historical and archaeological materials show that Baku, like many other Azerbaijani cities, emerged as a result of growth of an economically advanced and densely populated ancient settlements. Resources such as oil and salt were the key factors for the growth of Baku from a small settlement into a thriving city. In ancient times, Baku was one of the most densely populated cities not only in the southern Caucasus, but also in the Middle East. The favorable climate, natural and geographical conditions, abundance of natural resources, and its location along world trade routes facilitated the economical development of Baku. The recognition of Baku as a sacred land of fire has played a significant role in its history. Christianity, idolatry, and fire worship spread here before the Arabian conquest, and their shrines existed in various parts of Azerbaijan. Ancient Baku was also one of the main holy places of fire worship. All the buildings within the fortress wall of Ичери Шехер were of defensive nature in terms of their tactical and strategic functions. The urban pattern of the city suggests a real labyrinth. When the city walls or the warriors could not withstand the enemy, the citizens would join in defensive actions. Enemy's cavalry could not enter the narrow streets and blind alleys because it was impossible to turn back or to drive the horses into such narrow alleys. The enemy troops who entered Ичери Шехер became lost in these alleys as if falling into a trap. Then residents, adults and children alike would pour tar or boiling water onto the enemies or throw stones at them. In this way, citizens were able to stand up together against the enemy, displaying the courage to defend their country and city from hostile forces. Even now, the National Army and Armed Forces study the defensive skills of Ичери Шехер and its defenses, and considering this fortress as a symbol of patriotism and a source of national pride and dignity.
This and this.
Yes.
Bu qəpiklər qiymətlə satılır da.
Yox,
Elə belə verirsiniz.
verməlisən.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Located in the inner city of Baku, we will find the Palace of the Shirvanshahs, or Shirvanshahlar. This 15th century palace was built by the Shirvanshahs. The complex contains the main building of the palace, the burial vault, the Shah's mosque with a minaret, and the remnants of a bathhouse. This palace is inscribed under the UNESCO World Heritage List of Historical Monuments. Since we're here, we can quickly pass by the Miniature Book Museum. On the 23rd of April 2002, this museum opened in the historical area of Baku, making it the first and only private museum of miniature books in the world. to commemorate a special date set by the UNESCO to be the annual Day of International Books and Copyrights. That day, some of the world's luminaries such as William Shakespeare passed away, which was on the 23rd of April. The museum offers 39 glass displays exhibiting over 5,600 miniature books published in 68 countries. And here's one of my personal favorite books. So, if you're in the area, just walk in and be fascinated. Another UNESCO World Heritage Site within old Baku walls is the Maiden Tower. This tower was believed to be built in the 12th century and is one of Azerbaijan's distinctive national emblems. Yet what is unclear is the story behind the name of the tower, the most prominent of which is the legend of a maiden said to be the daughter of the Khan of Baku who threw herself off its top to her death in the waves below. In some sources, she is said to be the sister of the king rather than his daughter, who was imprisoned by him. Another explanation for the name is the statement to the fact that the tower has never been taken by force, hence a metaphorical reference to virginity, as it was once believed to be a watchtower. Many historians calculated the tower's foundation, which extends 15 meters underground level, and the first 3 stories of it to be built in between the 4th and the 6th century CE, since back then it was believed to be a Zoroastrian temple. Other historians believe that the tower was used as an astronomical observatory from the time of its construction, due to the fact that there are huge stones on the tower's lower and upper sections correlating to the days of the month. That said, some excavations of the tower revealed an interesting thing about how the tower was built with underground wooden beams and a solid, thick tapered base that suggests that they were built that way as an earthquake resistance design. With all this mystery surrounding the Maiden Tower, there is one thing we know as a fact. It is under the UNESCO World Heritage List of Historical Monuments as a cultural property. If you'd like detailed information, you can get an audio guide from one of these info stalls that are available around the area and walk around the old Baku using the signs that are available in front of important buildings and monuments. Before we move on to Baku Boulevard, where there is a lot of places that needs exploration, let's enjoy some breakfast at Seherli Tendir. This amazing place is located in the old city of Baku, where you can enjoy the traditional Azeri breakfast. If you are waiting in line to get a table, which could happen since this place could get really crowded, you can watch how this tendir, which is a traditional bread prepared and made in these traditional clay ovens. Which results in this magical, tasty bread. If you're not sure what to order, let me recommend the following: white cheese, cream, and honey, with tomatoes and eggs. You can get a piece of bread, cover it with a little cream. Then drizzle it with honey. Enjoy. As for the tomatoes and eggs, they are so delicious, they taste like eating an amazing margarita. I remember my first visit here where I came during lunchtime. The waiter asked me what I wanted for lunch and I said, I want breakfast. So, the bottom line is, this cozy place is a must. Now that we had a good hearty meal, let's head out and visit a nearby boulevard, that is Baku Boulevard. It is also known as the National Park. This promenade was first established in 1909, running in parallel to Baku's Caspian Sea front. The boulevard contains an amusement park, Baku Ferris wheel, yacht club, and musical fountain, along with the National Flag Square and various statues and monuments. The park is popular with dog walkers and joggers, and is convenient for both locals and tourists. Enjoying this nice stroll and heading towards the Azerbaijan Carpet Museum, I came across what is known as Little Venice, which is one of the most beautiful and relaxing places on the boulevard. You could walk around the bridges to reach any one of those restaurants or get a blissful gondola ride right in the middle of Baku in this beautiful clear water. Now back to the Carpet Museum. The original location of the museum was established in 1967 in the Juma Mosque in Ичери Шехер. This new museum was opened in 2014 to include over 10,000 items, such as ceramics, metal works from the 14th century, jewelry from the Bronze Age, and of course, Azerbaijani carpets, which are considered to be masterpieces of intangible heritage by the UNESCO. Not far from this area, we can see Geyder Aliyev Center, which is an interesting building that plays an important role in Baku's intellectual life. The structure was designed by architect Zaha Hadid and noted for its distinctive architecture and flowing curved styles that avoid sharp angles. When you stand in front of this building, you truly marvel at how such a structure could even exist in reality. The center is named after Geyder Aliyev, the first president of Azerbaijan. The center offers three main sections: the Geyder Aliyev Museum, the exhibition hall, and auditoriums and multifunctional conference halls, meeting rooms, and media center. The Geyder Aliyev Center is recognized internationally as a signature landmark of modern Baku due to its innovative and cutting-edge design. Pun intended. Apart from shops and stores in Nizami Street, you can find so many malls around the city that offer so many international brands and products. So, if you are looking for a place to shop, rest assured that you will get a lot more than what you bargained for. Since we're talking about shopping and spending money, let me mention one important thing to keep in mind. Unlike many countries, you will not find small currency exchange like you would in many places around the world. Instead, you can exchange your currency at any bank, since most banks display the exchange rate. Now, I'm planning to take you outside of Baku to see some of the important surrounding locations and cities. But before going on that journey, let's have some lunch. As any modern city around the world, Baku offers a plethora of international cuisines, and from my point of view, I found that most of the restaurants offer great choices. But since we are in Azerbaijan, let's try their local food. I visited one of the local restaurants in the old city. I tried having a cheese platter with greens as an appetizer. Each one of these is from a region in Azerbaijan. I also had pomegranate juice, which is grown and harvested here, since Azerbaijan has a special annual pomegranate festival. And of course, I ordered some mixed grilled kebabs and chicken. At first glance, I thought they would resemble the Turkish cuisine, yet I found that the taste differs with the addition of Azeri special spices, which made them taste even more wholesome. We're on our way to an area called Gobustan. We will move from there to other areas and regions within Azerbaijan. That doesn't mean you can do the same in one day. Almost each location would need either a day or half a day to visit and explore. Once we're done with the tour, I promise to show you how beautiful Baku looks at night. We'll take you on a drive around town, then we'll explore the old city and Nizami Street. But that's for later. Now, let's hit the road. Gobustan National Park is a hill and mountain site. It is located west of the settlement of Gobustan, about 64 kilometers or 40 miles southwest of the center of Baku on the west bank of the Caspian Sea. Once there and before heading in the historical area where you can see for yourself the carvings, I would highly recommend taking the tour in the museum, since it will make you appreciate how important this historical site is. In 1966, Gobustan was declared a National Historical Landmark of Azerbaijan in an attempt to preserve the ancient carvings, relics, mud volcanoes, and gas stone in the region. In 2007, Gobustan was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site considered to be of outstanding universal value for the quality and density of its rock art engravings, for the substantial evidence and collection of rock art images that present hunting, fauna, flora, and lifestyle in the prehistoric times, and for the cultural continuity between prehistoric and medieval times that the site reflects. Gobustan is very rich in archaeological monuments. The reserve has more than 6,000 rock engravings dating between 5,000 and 40,000 years. The site also features the remains of inhabited caves, settlements, burials, all reflecting an intensive human use by the inhabitants of the area during the wet periods that followed the last ice age from the Upper Paleolithic to the Middle Ages. You truly feel humbled standing in a spot where humans lived over 40,000 years ago. Apart from the petroglyphs, there is also this musical gemstone known as Gaval Dash. It makes a tambourine sound when it is hit in different points. The Gaval Dash has been formed due to the combination of unique climate, oil and gas which can be found in the region of Azerbaijan. Now let's go to a fire temple, but on our way we'll visit Янар-Даг, which means burning mountain in Azerbaijani. As you can see, everywhere you look you'll find oil wells. Янар-Даг natural gas fire blazes continuously and steadily flames jet 3 meters or 9 feet into the air. It is believed to be accidentally lit by a shepherd in 1950. But what makes it so interesting, it never gets extinguished. So let me capture this eternal flame with Alpha Traveler Lighter. Nearby, we will reach a very interesting site, Atashga Fire Temple. This castle-like religious temple is also called the Fire Temple of Baku. Based on Persian and Indian inscriptions, the temple was used as a Hindu and Zoroastrian place of worship, since the word Atash in Persian means fire, while Ga means bed or throne, making the whole name Atashga or home of fire. In the past, the temple had 7 natural surface vents feeding its fire. Yet since the Soviet heavy exploitation of the natural gas in the area, that resulted in depleting it. Today, the temple gets its gas from a pipe that feeds it from Baku. Not far from Atashga Fire Temple, we can visit a sanctuary which was built to Mir Movzam Agha Cemetery. This man has been famed as a real legend in his lifetime, since he achieved fame beyond the territory of Azerbaijan, that till this day thousands come to his sanctuary for pilgrimage, setting hope on him and asking for blessing. The interior was decorated by handmade patterned glass pieces and glazed tiles, which in person looks so stunning in a way that I can't even describe. The whole atmosphere radiates with calmness and tranquility. If we travel to the northwest of Baku, we will reach Kuba region. We are going to Shahdag Mountain Resort. This complex was opened to the public in 2012. It is located in Azerbaijan Greater Caucasus Range, making it the first and largest ski resort in the country. Apart from the current 5 hotels, the area will offer another 10 to 12 hotels. You can also find a ski school, kids club, shops, restaurants, and cafes, plus 4 spas and fitness centers. The elevation difference it offers ranges between 1,400 to 2,000 meters in height and accommodates up to 11,400 skiers per hour with 14 slopes. One more thing to note before leaving Kuba. Locals here told me that the best apples in Azerbaijan can be found here in this region. So, when visiting, stop on the side of the street and get some tasty apples. Another thing, as with any region in Azerbaijan, Kuba has its own baklava, so don't miss out on trying some. If you have time while visiting Azerbaijan, you can get a ride to Shaki, which is located on the northwestern part of Azerbaijan and is 325 kilometers or 202 miles from Baku. That would be somewhere around 4-hour drive, unless you fly there, of course. This area has traces of large-scale settlements in Shaki dating back to more than 2,700 years ago. Shaki was one of the biggest cities of the Albanian states in the 1st century. The main church of ancient Albanians was located here. Surrounded by snowy peaks, this mountain forest around the area prevents the city from floods and overheating during summer. Shaki has been famous for being the center of the silkworm breeding making Shaki the market center on the Silk Road. The palace of Shaki Khan, which was a summer residence of Shaki Khans, still remain one of the most visible landmarks of Shaki. Constructed in 1762 without using a single nail, it is one of the most astonishing monuments of its era. Unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to film inside, but I can tell you, although it is small from the inside, yet it's very beautiful. Near the palace, you can try one of the traditional Shaki dishes and most favored by the Khans, the piti. It is made with mutton, tomatoes, potatoes, and chickpeas infused with saffron to add flavor and color, all covered by a lump of fat and cooked for 8 hours in a sealed crock, then served in that earthenware jar. In Azerbaijan, piti is eaten with bread, making it a hearty soup. You can also try out dulma, which is a mixture of minced meat, rice, flavored with local herbs and wrapped in grape leaves and cooked. It is served with homemade yogurt. I know all the snow and cold weather got you a bit chilled, so let me talk about something heartwarming before I return you back to see Baku at night. Tea in Azerbaijan is served freshly brewed. It typically has a bright color and is served in crystal or any other clear glass. Usually tea is served with lumps of sugar instead of granulated form. This tradition comes from the medieval period when rulers who were afraid of being poisoned checked their tea by dunking a piece of sugar in it. Back then, it was believed that the poison would react to the sugar. For Azerbaijanis, tea is associated with warmth and hospitality. They even say "Çaynadır, saynadır," which translates to "when you drink tea, the cup count doesn't matter." And with tea, we must talk about sweets, and especially baklava. During my visit to Azerbaijan, I noticed that every region has its own version and special baklava that you wouldn't find anywhere else. In general, baklava is a rich sweet pastry made of layers of very thin dough filled with chopped nuts and sweetened and held together with syrup or honey. And if you want more, you can also try shekerbura, which is a popular Azerbaijani sweet pastry filled with ground almonds, hazelnuts, or walnuts. Now that we're warmed up and ready, let's go back to Baku and explore the city at night. As I mentioned, and as you saw for yourselves, I thought Baku was beautiful during the day till I saw it at night. Azerbaijan was one of those special travel surprises that I wasn't expecting. Baku is very clean and modern, yet it cherishes its tradition and culture, mixing the past with the future in a very unique way. Azeri people were extremely polite, honest, hospitable, and very kind, which is a very rare human trait to be found in this day and age. And no wonder, since Azerbaijan is the land of fire and the cradle of ancient humans.